Okay, so it's that time again when I pick my England team, but of course this time it's the first World Cup game against Argentina, and it's going to be the hardest pick I've had yet. I'm probably not happy with any combination, but we need to find something. We need to find a performance. We do have a very different team next up in Japan, but I think you've just got to try and find something and not really think too cleverly about it, picking horses for courses and all that sort of thing. I think you've just got to find a team that can actually score tries and threaten opposition defences. So let's get into it, front row wise. And we are struggling in the prop departments. Marler, Cole, they're trying their best. They are well past their athletic best, and they do struggle to get around the pitch. It's not their fault, but that's just how it is. If you pick veterans, that's what's going to happen. To be fair to Will Stewart, he did come on and have a bit of an impact in that last warm-up game against Fiji. And of course, Ellis Genge still makes those eye-catching runs, but do you play him from the start or do you bring him on? Theo Dan did get some good game time, showing a little bit of excitement there, showing some promise, but he needs that experience. So tricky. You've got Sinclair still struggling with niggles, but just for this video, I'm going to assume that everyone is fit. Bevan Rod, we haven't seen him yet, but is this the game to throw him straight in? Probably not. So anyway, this is what I'm going to go for. I'm going to start with maybe the strongest scrummaging team or a solid scrummaging front row in Marler, Jamie George and Will Stewart, and then bring on the younger guys, the dynamic guys in Genge, Dan and Sinclair to come on. I just think that's the sensible way, rather than kind of gas out Genge from the start. I think start with the solid guys, hope they do a good job in the line-out and the scrum, hope they can get around the pitch well enough, and then bring on a bit of impact from the bench. In the second row, I like to give credit where it's due, and Maro Itoje had a good game against Fiji, I think. Unfortunately, Ollie Chesham looked to be struggling quite a lot, and he has just come back from a major injury, fracture dislocation of your ankle. That's got to be tough to come back from first game. David Ribbons is our next best official second row, but I think, as I've said before, it's time to break the bad news to Captain Courtney Laws and say, your country needs you back at lock. So him and Maro Itoje back together. We saw them, of course, in the 2019 World Cup. So the back row, and Billy, of course, is banned. So I think we keep going with Ben Earl at 8. I guess you could say move Ludlam there. And Ludlam, I agree, does deserve a role. And because we've moved Courtney Laws into lock, Ludlam goes at 6. He never lets England down. I maybe underrate him, actually. Ben Earl is a talent. He is exciting in attack. Let's play him again at 8. We haven't seen Tom Curry yet, back from injury, so let's put him on the bench. A bit much to throw him straight in. So Jack Willis again at 7. So Ludlam, Willis and Earl with Tom Curry covering, so you can cover loads of positions there. That's not a problem. Scrum half, it's another head scratcher. I was fairly happy with Alex Mitchell against Fiji. He did give Ford some nice quick service. We saw some of his breaks, but also we saw a guy who's just come into the team, desperate to get the system working, not quite going on those instinctive breaks. You've got to give him the confidence. So I want to see him playing again with confidence that he is the man. He can do whatever he thinks is right. It's a tough one for a scrum half because you get criticised if you make the wrong decisions. But if you don't play heads-up rugby, you miss a lot of big opportunities. Youngs against Argentina maybe might make tactical sense if you can play that big kicking game. But I think Mitchell is the best player. Let's keep going with Mitchell. Ben Young's on the bench. I just can't put Kerr on the bench after that absolute clanger, really costly clanger. Maybe it's unfair, but that's just the way I'm going. Fly half. I really didn't mind George Ford at 10 at all against Fiji. What little attack England did get going, he got it flowing nicely. He put some clever kicks in. He's very confident. Obviously, if you play George Ford, you are sacrificing a bit because he's not really a running threat, certainly compared to what he used to be as well, or when you compare him to Mathieu Jalabert or Finn Russell, nowhere near, and he's obviously tiny in defence, but you play him for what he can do, and that is orchestrate the guys around the pitch, get a good flowing attack going. The other option, Marcus Smith, gives you more running threat, but we've played George Ford in one game. Let's keep him going, get a bit of continuity, and we might need Marcus Smith elsewhere. We'll talk about that in a minute. Centres. So Manu Tuolangi carried hard at times, but compared to the Fijian athletes in front of him, he's not the man he used to be, so it's a tricky one. I'm still saying Joe Marchant is our best all-round 13, especially if you're trying to play an exciting attacking game. So let's go for Ollie Lawrence at 12, Joe Marchant at 13. Back three, goodness me, really, really hard to pick. I mean, our guaranteed starter, the one guy you could say starts somewhere, maybe even at fullback, Anthony Watson, is out of the whole World Cup, which is absolutely lethal. Such a blow for England. Daly and Arundel, they had their niggles, but I'm assuming they are fit. I mean, Arundel, yellow card aside, just hasn't had any ball to show what he can do with it, to gain some confidence and experience. And if you're going to play him just to chase kicks, you might as well not have taken him at all. So they need to change up their tactics big time. Get that ball into the winger's hands. If it's Arundel, get it into his hands. I mean, Caden Murley wasn't called up, so I can't play him, which is a massive shame. Johnny May is going to give you all he's got. He's decent at chasing kicks. He's not the athlete he was. He's not as quick as he was. He's not massively good in the tackle, but he'll do a job, which I hate saying that phrase, but he will. Daly obviously still scares me that he'll miss a crucial tackle, but you could go him. Freddie Stewart scares me. He won't get to a crucial tackle, but you could play him, especially if there's going to be a big kicking battle against Argentina, which there might. Malins is a decent club winger, but we can see as an international, doesn't really cut it compared to the rest. He's probably better at fullback, so you could play him there, although I think he's actually a 10 playing back three, to be honest. Or you could pick Marcus Smith. It's a real tricky one. So what I'm going to do is go Johnny May to chase those kicks all day, keep one end held up hopefully, Henry Arundel on the other wing, and just give him lots of ball. Get him into the game. Let's see what he can do. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, this back three, but I think we should go for it. And Marcus Smith at 15. He's a fly half, but we need some attacking flair from 15. We need some clever kicks from 15, some clever counter-attacks from 15. Who's going to give it to us? So I'm going to say Marcus Smith is there at 15. I don't think England have got anything to lose here particularly, so let's go for it. Let's try and create something and then have Elliot Daly on the bench and Manu Tuilagi on the bench as well, because you don't need a fly half there because Marcus Smith is playing 15. So that is my England team to face Argentina. I think we definitely need to go for it a bit more. We can still play a clever tactical kicking game, of course, and kick to compete, but we need to challenge their defence. We need to create something. Is this the team that does it? I'm really not sure, but it's the best I've got. That's my thinking. Put your teams below. Love to know what you think, and I'll catch you next time.